Oh, there he is. Nice fish. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Driftless Days channel. Well, it was the 4th of July weekend, and I wanted to give it a try for some midsummer trout fishing. I decided I'd go to Pickwick Creek, which is kind of one of my go-to spots. I really like going there in part because it's located pretty close to where I live, but also because I seem to, more often than not, catch some pretty good numbers of trout there. The stream flows through the town of Pickwick, and obviously that's where it derives its name. Pickwick, the town or village, if you will, is actually kind of interesting. It was first established around 1857, and it was actually named from one of the first books by Charles Dickens, a book entitled The Posthumous Papers of the Pickwick Club, which was published probably about 20 years earlier and actually had fairly wide acclaim. The stream is also called Big Trout Creek, which was a name given to it by the early settlers, presumably because of the presence of big trout, most likely big brook trout at that time. On this particular day, I was fishing a stream reach that was upstream of the town because that's where most of the angling easements are located. I started out fishing with my usual trout lure, a floating Rapala of some sort. This particular day, I started with a chartreuse colored one. Today I'm fishing Pickwick Creek in Winona County. Nice little stream just south of Winona. Water's a little dirty. We had good rain yesterday. Just put on this chartreuse Rapala. Caught one little one right away. Now I'm starting up the camera. Oh boy, I missed him there. There we go. There we go. Hit it, came back, hit it again. Not a real big one, but a pretty fish. Right on tight. There he is. There he is. Nice fish too. Nice fish. Right next to shore. Oh, nice fish. Pretty fish. Pretty brown. $3.40, $3.43. Nice, pretty brown. $3.43. Another nice thing about fishing in midsummer is the grasshoppers and crickets become more available. And for some of the die-hard trout anglers, though, they like to use the phrase it's hopper time. And although we spin anglers might not have near the variety of lures and imitations that some of the fly fishermen have, there's still a few good lures for us to try, such as the crick hopper that I'm using in for the next couple fish. There he is. Whoosh. Nice fish. Oh! Nice fish. Poosh. Nice trout. Get him up here. That big mouth on him. Pretty fish. Another reason I like fishing this part of Pickwick Creek is because it flows through essentially kind of an open, lightly grazed pasture, and that obviously makes it a lot easier to cast and a lot easier to fish and a lot easier to get around. You know, this time of year, it's not uncommon to go to a stream and find it heavily choked with riparian vegetation, and some of that vegetation can be actually pretty dangerous, such as a bunch of this yellow colored parsnip. If you've never gotten into parsnip, be very careful this time here, because if you get some of the parsnip oils on your skin, mix it with a little bit of water, sweat, and some UV radiation from the sun, you can get some really bad burns. A number of years ago, I kind of really got into some bad parsnip, and here's a couple pictures of what my arms look like, and they stayed like this for several weeks across the summer, and I even ended up with some scars with it. So definitely be careful in some of that thicker vegetation. And again, this is why a lot of times in midsummer I like fishing open pastures where I can. Although fishing in the open pastures is great, on this particular stretch of Pickwick, there's actually some really nice pools up in this little more wooded corridor. It's not quite the area of thick parsnip like in the previous video I kind of showed, but it has some nice pools, and it does get a little more challenging to fish in terms of making your cast good and getting positioned properly. Oh man. After missing out on several fish with the crick hopper, I decided to switch back to a Rapala, kind of in part to try and get my lure down a little deeper into these deeper pools and see if that would work a little better. Pretty fish. $2.80. $2.97. Times fishing in these narrow stream channels, the fishing can get almost pretty intimate. The fish will follow your lure, sometimes right to your feet, and really not even know you're there. So right here, this fish ends up following the lure all the way down until it gets almost to my feet, and then finally makes the critical swipe at the lure to catch it. And ultimately, I ended up losing this fish in a few more clips here, but it was still a neat experience nonetheless. Not the biggest one. Nice fish, just the same. Fun. Nice fish. Yep, you just keep turning. That was pretty. $3.43. Pretty fish. $3.43. Easy, buddy. Well, the day started with a 13.5-inch trout, and it ended with a 13.5-inch trout. It was often the case. This was just another great day fishing Pickwick Creek. I think I fished probably about 3 hours this morning, and I must have caught probably around a dozen trout. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, it'd be much appreciated if you give it a like. Thanks for watching.